But yeah, if anyone who watched last year, I guess, is the Zelda Randomizer tournament, some things introduced this time. Pretty much every flag possible, with the few exceptions, are turned to random, which means they may be on, they may not be on, and it's different for every single race. Um, we have seen seeds where all the dungeons are in their normal places and the Triforces are in their normal spots. We've had seeds where where half the overworld is first quest, half the overworld is second quest. Um, and do we have a start here?
We do have a start, and right off the bat, we have got a shuffled start screen. It looks like both of our players are doing what seems to be the correct normal call, and that's going to the normal sword cave to see if we have a wooden sword available.
All right.
And it certainly looks like we do, along with some extra candles.
Yes, candles in abundance. That could come into play if they find a take any one you want, in addition to the heart container and potion. A blue candle will also be an option.
CrystalSaver sporting the cotton candy sword.
It's the Easter sword.
Yeah, and right away it looks like we definitely do not have 0 HP enemies. And we have got, looks like to be shuffled caves, as well as a potential first class overworld.
So we have Ampharos in level 7.
Definitely not its normal beautiful hue, so we've got some palette changes as well.
And Saver did find a candle shop in the level 3 vanilla spot. And Rick Adirondack pointing out strong bosses. The boss HP has been shuffled, even if the regular enemies have not.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's if it is normal HP, that's a pretty odd flag to have, as that's been extremely rare. And I'm sure both of these guys are happy that, one, it's not 0 HP, and two, that it's not shuffled to something extremely crazy as well.
Looks like Double A has gotten half of his wish, because we do have shapes in level 7.
That is a nasty looking level 7 too.
And the low secret being 7 over on CrystalSaver's side.
I think we're all synced up. We got AA still moving right along through level 7, not being deterred by it at all. Has a nice Guerrilla set, so it's not too difficult. Definitely not something that will pose too much of an issue this early on in the seed with basically low percent. Meanwhile, CrystalSaver is making his way over towards the northeast. He did discover level 4 earlier in the normal arrow bomb shop, just west of level 4, but did opt to go ahead and leave that behind.
All right. Thanks for covering me there, Ferrataginos. I had Saver about 20 or 30 seconds behind Ampharos, so I was having to get him synced up. And those 7 rupees that Saver worked so hard for, all down the drain with the door repair charge. And he finds a take any, getting the blue candle.
A wise choice. And it looks like Ampharos is going to be ladder blocked from getting to the rest. Well, maybe not. It looks like it might be a staircase, as you can't bomb down from that particular spot. So he's going to be looking for a staircase to go to the southwest portion of this dungeon.
He does find the Triforce, but looks like he feels a little bit pot committed to this dungeon at this point. Going to try to find the item, knowing that level 7, oftentimes CrystalSaver known for not looking for the item in level 7, taking that gamble. It could be a make or break point for him.
What if it ends up being the silver arrows?
Well, Saver will go and get him this time if it is.
I would assume so. I mean, I don't disagree with this just because there are keys available in 7, and again, it's a Guerrilla set. You get decent amount of money from ropes as long as our the drop groups aren't shuffled. So digging for the item here is not necessarily a bad choice, especially since he's, like you said, pod committed and already explored 3/4 of the dungeon.
Yeah, so like I said, ropes carrying cash most of the time, unless the drops have been shuffled. We gotta meet the old man at the grave over on Saver's side, so it looks like those messages have not been changed.
Yeah, it looks like we'll just have a normal, normal vanilla text this time around. And I would say confirmed by Spectacle Rock is an entrance to death. And we have got life or money rooms. And
he takes life.
Wow, he does. He opts to not up A and takes the heart hit.
Oh, he is so committed to this item at this point.
That is a brave move in a normal HP seed.
You've got to think, and cheap bombs on Saber's side after finding a huge, large secret. Only 17 rupees. And now we have Goma in a reverse C for A double. Could that be the item?
That is the staircase to the southwest portion of the dungeon. That's not even the item. Man burns the heart and does not gain a reward from it other than the Triforce. Could this be silver arrows behind an arrow block? We may never know.
Oh man, yes, because arrows can, but bow not, as I understand it correctly.
Yes, that is correct. Because if you don't have a bow to shoot an arrow, there's no way to get behind the Goma.
Right.
And it was confirmed that you cannot bomb into the room in that ladder room. So it's not a ladder block. It is indeed an arrow block.
Going ahead and picking up the Triforce now. Licking his wounds a little bit in level 7 there. I don't know, did Saver was along the coast? I don't see if he looked to see what the coast item was yet or not.
It was a heart, so that is not shuffled.
Okay.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for AAA, man. It's nice that he got the Triforce, but spending all that time digging to get no reward has got to feel a little bit discouraging. 35 for the medium secret, so making up a little bit for the lower amount on the smaller secret there.
Yeah, I think the big secret was like 120 something, so that certainly helps.
But one of the advantages that AA now has is that he understands, hey, I've got to maybe have arrows in this seed because there could be something behind there that I need. Whereas Saver hasn't gotten that information yet. Now he normally will go ahead and buy meat and arrows right off the bat. He's never too concerned about picking up a ring or anything of that nature. But we'll see if that comes into play later.
Yes. So for those who may not know, CrystalSaver is known for playing this game damageless, swordless, one-hit KO, all those types of things. So he's not going to be someone whose priorities are on heart containers and rings.
It does find a second take any, so he will grab his first heart.
And Adirondack Rick pointing out that with the expensive magical shield being spotted, that we do not have a boomstick in this seed. Now backing off on that claim a little bit. As AA finds level 4. And Saver now into 7. Going to soon make the discovery that he wishes he never found when he picks up that map in the second room.
I think Saver will find that Triforce and will walk right out. It's early enough that I don't think he's going to spend a lot of time digging for an item in here.
That seems to be in line with his normal strategy, I would think.
AA finding the T room in level 4, so perhaps we do not have shuffled dungeon rooms too much so, but looks like he found a way around as long as he can bomb out.
Although there was a side room staircase in 7, was there not?
Yes, he took it to get to this portion, I believe.
Is that in vanilla, or am I forgetting things now?
I believe you are correct. So yeah, they are shuffled. That is right. Yeah, meanwhile, A's got to deal with Wizrobes in this dungeon if he runs into them, which is never any fun. And Saver does go ahead and pick up that Triforce, and I don't foresee him going back in.
No. Unless he gets late into this seed, I would think not. And there's the Triforce find, and then a ladder block right after finding it for A double, so he's going to have to go ahead and pick up that Triforce in level 4. And be left wondering what the item might be. So ladder already a crucial item as it is in so many seeds.
Yeah, I mean, it is nice to find the Triforce laying on the ground in that kind of a dungeon, as you never want to have to kill Wizrobes to find it. So that is a little bit of a relief. But you got to think, I've now gone through 2 dungeons and not gotten an item. You know, it happens where you get through 5 or 6 dungeons and you've never picked up an item, and it starts to get worrisome because you understand, well, I got to go back and redo these dungeons to figure out where the things are that I need.
Saber now going back into level 4 with the knowledge that these are shapes. See if he has any different situation. I don't know if there was another route that could be taken that Ampharos didn't do to get to a potential item situation, or if it was just a straight up ladder block no matter what you do.
He could have gone a different direction. I believe he just chose not to. There was, I believe, a key door available that he did not take. But, you know, again, you're 4 hearts and a wood sword with normal HP in a Wizrobe dungeon. It's just usually not worth the time.
And A double, who just bought a blue candle, then comes across a take any, and might be upset with himself for having just bought the candle, but at the same time, getting a heart container after he gave one up to maybe get a little bit closer to that white sword item access could be the right play in the end anyway for him. Just go in because the candle wasn't that expensive anyway. But after, you know, and a Wizrobe beam right to savor a death in level 4.
The jerk blue Wizrobe with the quick beam.
Quick draw, master of 1-2 switch. The blue Wizrobe.
And Rick making a good point that we still don't know if dungeon items are shuffled. So
yeah, we would have to see a dungeon item first.
And Saver opting to just go ahead and leave level 4, which is, you know, at this early on, again, not necessarily a bad choice. It finds a 3rd take any.
Yep, so he's gotten 2 hearts and a candle for free, while A double is in 2 and knows where the Triforce is. But going to be looking with this Guerrilla set, once again, looking like the item enemies may not be shuffled, looking for that room drop item in level 2. We have a heart container on the floor in 2, so who knows, that may be the regular dungeon heart container, or it could be the... No, it can't be the item because it was on the coast.
Correct, yeah, the heart was, in fact, on the coast, so it is not shuffled in. It's also important to note that it looks like we have a first quest overworld. There's still a couple of locations that we need to see to confirm, but just
so
from
far,
some of the locations, yeah. It seems like it is a first quest overworld.
And both players in level 2 currently, just a room or 2 away from each other.
Seemed like Saver's lagging just behind Ampharos by about a minute, but doing the exact same thing. So we'll see how this ends up panning out over the course of the run.
I don't know if Ampharos is the type that would want to buy a ring, but if it does, I mean, the big difference between them two, other than him having one more Triforce, is the amount of money that Saver got from that big secret, and by not having to buy a candle. But if neither of them are buying a ring, then that amount of money shouldn't make a difference, especially as the Guerrillas are dropping tons of rupees in that room for him.
Yeah, and Janice Zeal pointed out specifically that Wallmasters are dropping bombs, so we do have shuffled drop groups, which can make a big difference depending on what you have in a dungeon as well, because that can sometimes make it really difficult to get a hold of bombs when you need them. As far as the ring situation goes, Ampharos has never shied away from taking a blue ring. He's won a couple of races because he purchased one and other people did not. So will not shy away from that if the opportunity presents itself. with this being a non-boomstick seed, that could happen.
Yeah. As the search continues in level 2, an up and A from A double. Looks like he's going to try a different route now as he finds the bomb wall over to the Triforce. Maybe just making sure that that is an easy access.
Yeah, neither of them having found the item here at level 2 yet. I wonder if Saber will just grab this Triforce
Yep,
and
looks
leave.
like it. Saber's going, oh, but then there's a room to the left of the Triforce, so...
Will this contain the item? Oh, and another attaching room. So yeah, looks like he's going to fish for the item. 2 being a normally small dungeon, it shouldn't be too much of a time investment.
Rick's wager is on the Manhandla having the item, but it is not. The red candle in that Korea room for Saber, he's probably more okay with that than Ampharos will be, having just paid for the candle, since his candle was free. But in any event, if you've gone through 3 dungeons now and that's the only item you found, you can't feel like this is a successful seed for you so far. And Ampharos is about to make that discovery.
Yeah, indeed. Red candle, definitely not what you're wanting to see at this point, with them already having a candle. It will be useful since, against Korea and likes and things like that, keys rooms, gel rooms, you can utilize it to, have combat on multiple fronts. But
Oh, yeah.
definitely not what you're looking for. You're wanting a ladder. You're wanting a power bracelet. You're wanting something to help you get through these levels faster and, get to level 9 to find the princess. Or in this case, Link.
Yeah. One last use of the candle by Ampharos before it's retired forever. Goes ahead, picks up the red candle. That'll be his Triforce, and we'll see if he follows the same path that Saber is right now, who just wrapped over into the graveyard.
Yeah, I'm assuming that we're going to have a grave check, and obviously, if the bracelet isn't shuffled or the Armos are not shuffled, the graveyard's one of the better places to go. And finding the 4th take any, up to 7 hearts already. But I would assume that Ampharos will make the same move. It's as long as logical pathing would go, it's the move to make. You're already over here, and that's the quickest access unless you up A to go somewhere else.
And the magical sword found in vanilla level 6 by Saber.
That just seems to be a very important place every run. It's either a level or it's a sword. It's amazing. The majority of the races, that has been something.
And it's one of those places that, kind of like Death Mountain, sometimes players don't go to it until it's a last resort thing, and it really can cost them. And the bow is the Armos item, so that was shuffled.
Yeah, Armos themselves not shuffled, but the item underneath was, and we do have the cotton candy flinger for CrystalSaver, which again is one of those items that you don't necessarily need, but can pay dividends, especially with what looks like to be a Goma block in level 7 to find the item.
Oh, and he finds another large secret of 124 rupees.
While having near max, not really what you want to have happen, but I don't think Saber cares too much. Meanwhile, Ampharos is right on his heels, following behind him. So this has been a game of tag pretty much this entire time.
Yes, it really could come down to whether or not anything important was in level 4, where Ampharos has already gotten the Triforce, as Saber works his way into level 5, but decides now's not the time. He's going to do some more exploration.
He's going to, I believe, do the key door glitch. Is looking a way to save some bombs and keys, which, early in a seed is good.
Okay.
Resource management is indeed a thing.
Okay, I thought he had gone out of it once already. I didn't see what had gone on there.
Yeah, he entered and exited to try to see if there was a bomb door on top, and then went left to right to open the key door.
Got it. And the bow found on Ampharos' side as well. You gotta think he's probably going to find level 5 shortly as well.
Yeah, I would imagine he would make his way up that direction. He might go to west to Death Mountain. We might see a small deviation here, which means we'll get a little bit of a better view of the overworld, which does seem to be the case.
He did, in fact, go to the west. and is rewarded with a money-making game. Saver finding the compass, which is a huge item in these shapes. The map and compass both become critical in these shapes races.
Yeah, at least gives you a general idea of where you need to go, even without the map, which is important. And looks like CrystalSaver is looking to build a 10 count here to build up some bombs, which is never a bad idea if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, you find yourself with 2 bombs, a potential ladder block now as well. And do we even know? Okay, so the Dark Nuts did. I guess the enemy HP is standard, so we did know that a red Dark Nut would die from that. While a double.
Map.
Oh yeah, what an interesting looking level 5 and ladder blocks everywhere. Meanwhile, a double has found his way into a resplendent pink level 3.
Yeah, glorious color indeed. I love this color. Interesting to note that CrystalSaver is going to have to find a way to finagle this room, as the Triforce will indeed spawn on the outer ring. So he's trying to find a way to kill these Dark Nuts with the spawn patterns. That way he doesn't end up unable to do that without a ladder.
Yeah, we do have a segmented level 3 on a double side as he picks up the Triforce after finding a staircase.
I would like to think he'll go back in, as he hasn't found any dungeon items yet, but I am incorrect. Other than the red candle, of course, which is, again, not what anybody was looking for.
He has purchased arrows now, though, so he may be thinking about going back to the level where he was blocked earlier. Was that 7? Or was that 4?
Level 7.
Yeah, 7, okay.
And unfortunately, Saver getting trolled just a little bit by this Dark Nut, who does decide to spawn back on the outer ring, fortunately for Saver. He's got not much of this dungeon left. Oh, and the Triforce does spawn on the inside of the T this time. Wow!
Can't win for losing in that room.
It looks like Saver's just going to take the Triforce and run, so we might see these guys revisiting some dungeons here later on if they haven't found what they're looking for.
Yeah, it's been interesting. I mean, both runners have subscribed to the same theory of maybe searching a little bit for the item, but not getting overly attached to any level past the Triforce.
And as we say that, Saver re-enters level 5.
I'll just stop and let him prove me wrong before I open my mouth next time.
Yeah, I mean, again, you got to think that these guys are metagaming themselves just a little bit. Because, again, you're racing against somebody who's a really high caliber Zelda Randomizer racer. So you're thinking, okay, well, I really can't spend all this time delving into a dungeon. And in Ampharos' case, he's already spent all that time in level 7 and it didn't pay any dividends. So at this point, he's like, all right, well, I'm just going to go. I've got a bow. I'm assuming that silvers are in 9, so unless I run into a block that I absolutely have to deal with, I'm done.
Yeah. It looks like Saver may have found the item in 5 now, and it is the raft.
Yeah, still probably not what he's looking for. It'll add access to a couple of locations on the overworld, but it didn't cost him too much time to go back in there, fortunately, but definitely not what you're looking for at this point.
And that... Sorry about the whole the themselves thing there. That's what happens when you do 2 commentary races with a guy from Nashville.
Saber finding another secret with, unfortunately, the maximum allowed 255 rupees. So let's see if he finds a shop. And he finds level 9.
Saver is in 9, folks. Let the memes commence there.
And looks like he's just going to save. Yeah, save and quit and head on out. Level 9, not playing the hide-and-seek game very well this seed. But he is indeed, in fact, already in level 9.
That is... I believe you can attest to the knowledge of the location of level 9 being critical in races such as these.
Yeah. Don't forget where it's at, or if you haven't found it, don't forget the spot where it's supposed to be. That's for sure. Another secret on his side, and unfortunately, still not able to utilize that. Meanwhile, he's not too far away from where Ampharos is, who I believe is just searching for some more dungeons. It really does feel like he's in Triforce and Go mode. at this point. Again, until he just finds the fact that he needs either a power bracelet, a raft, or a recorder, I don't think he's going to be looking for an item.
No. At some point, you got to think Saver will go ahead and buy either meat or arrows if he comes across one of those shops, though. With all this money and not being the type of guy who's going to be spending money on a blue ring just by his playstyle.
Yeah, Jacober, but who knows if a ladder is actually required? It's a nice thing to have going into 9, but we've had ladderless 9s before. You know, it could be in the back of his mind that he wants it, but until it's proven otherwise, why would you necessarily think you need it?
And at vanilla level 1, we see the white sword item on A-Double's side. It is the wooden boomerang.
Yeah, very unfortunate for these guys that the white sword is in fact shuffled this time around.
Yeah, either one of these guys is talented enough to finish off Ganon without the white sword, but neither one of them would turn it down if it was staring them in the face either, so...
You know, it could be that Ganon doesn't have extra hit points. He could have 0 HP this time around. And finding level 6's Ampharos in the normal vanilla heart spot. They're south of 1.
Alright, on Candle Row. And finding a Wizrobe set in level 6, so it's looking more and more like the enemy groups in dungeons are not shuffled.
Yeah, level 6 being Wizrobes and normal HP is pretty unfriendly, as in shapes level 6 tends to be one of the more ugly dungeons.
Yeah, there's
making good work of the red candle here, though.
This is a situation where the red candle comes in handy, for sure. Picking up a key so he doesn't have to spend one in essence to get to the next room. To find more likes and another key door.
I see a trending theme. Meanwhile, we got Saber on the southern portion of Candle Row, and I'm sure we'll find the same dungeon in just a moment. Again, we're playing tag on these dungeons, and AA finds the Triforce in 6, grabs it, and is going to get the heck out of Dodge.
As Saber is walking in, they'll say hello in passing.
The high five, literally perfect in sync.
And one thing interesting to note, 2 hint shops right next to each other here on Candle Row.
And Saber just going ahead and noping out. I think he feels like his 2 keys aren't enough to waste the key door there.
It could be possible. He's going to go find the white sword item now at vanilla level 1. And he picks it up.
He does pick it up. Tribute to Mr. The Green Leaf Effect. All hail Lord Banana.
You know, it's almost okay, because in this seed with his palette, the wooden boomerang does have a little bit of blue on it.
Yeah, and Saber actually, you know, he utilizes some unique strategies that most other people don't use, such as whistle strats on Ganon, heavy amount of pause strats, and he does make a really good use out of the boomerang in pretty unique occasions, so he will tend to pick that item up if he can.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anybody better at in this game at using time. Stopping enemies any way, shape, or form as buffers in their combat, in their movement, than Saber does. And while it does save most of us time to do the item swap with Select in the randomizer, he shows that you can keep it as the pause and still be successful.
Indeed, and
a retry.
Quite interestingly, he runs into both the expensive and the cheap meat and passes them both up.
And we had I guess there had been as Saber dies, I guess Ampharos had saved recently because he hit retry in a dungeon, in a cave.
Yeah, seems like that. He just probably saved after level 6, perhaps, and then decided that whatever happened wasn't kosher and decided to go ahead and retry. We get bomb drops from Orange Tektites. They seem to be a popular selection for the randomized bomb groups.
Getting confirmation in chat from Jay Coper that Ampharos saved after he picked up a potion.
Ah.
And we already see the banana strats working for Saver, with the Octoroks firing the pink and the cotton candy rocks at him, keeping them at bay. And when everything keeps dropping 5 rupees, you can buy whatever you want.
Indeed. Looks like he's going to make his way back to level 6 here. Again, these guys haven't really found anything. We found one dungeon item so far, and that's the red candle.
Then the raft in 5.
The
Saber
raft
got the
in 5. So we've found 2 items so far in the dungeons, which is still kind of leaving us in the dark of what these guys need to do. And Saber going to opt to try bombing up here, and is unfortunately met with a no-go, and doesn't want to use that last key. So he's going to go ahead and leave 6 yet again, maybe?
Yeah, it looks like he accidentally went back in. As A double going up, trying to make his way up to vanilla level 2. See what is in that cave, making good use of the red candle to clear the path. And he finds a blue ring shop with meat and sheep bombs. Oh, and we've got, this could be big here as Saver uses the raft and finds level 8.
Level 8, wow! So raft is required. Now, it is important to note that Ampharos has not gotten Triforce out of level 5 yet. So that could be maybe the point where he decides, hey, maybe I need to start looking for some items, but that is a big deal.
Yes, raft being required. I don't know if A double has he even found level 5? Is that the one that was on the other side of Death Mountain from where he went left and Saber went right?
Yes, I believe so. And it is also important to note that depending on how Whistle works, it may be possible to avoid the raft finding the recorder.
That is true.
Jay Coper just pointed out in chat, as you can whistle to level 4 since he already has Force Triforce, and it will take you to the raft spot.
That is an interesting thing that I discovered, that I've discovered just by watching, saying, oh, well, I guess that does work, doesn't it? When it whistles you to the regular dungeon locations, but does not, even regardless of whether or not the dungeons are there.
Yeah, and Saber, taking an unfortunate death to some Darknuts here, is going to go ahead and use his last key to head right or left in this dungeon. Now, there is two items here, so digging 8 is not necessarily a bad thing, but then runs into a reverse C with blue Darknuts.
Yeah, he's got to be hoping this is an item with as much time and effort is going to be taken to try to avoid the blue Darknuts along the sides here. Doing a great job so far. Took 1 hit, but still has 1 heart of life.
Yeah, and I mean, the unfortunate thing with level 8 is that, 1, it's guaranteed to have a staircase. And 2, if it's segmented, it's going to have 2. If it's got 3 segments, it's going to have 3. It's, it's one of those things that you never know. And clearing this room, if it ends up being the staircase he needs to access the rest of the dungeon, it's going to respawn if he dies. Oh. So, he's taking a big time gamble here, and hopefully it'll pay off for him.
Yeah, he's already found one staircase in 8.
Taking the brave route and attacking from the top instead of the bottom, and does run into another staircase. And AA taking a blue ring purchase.
Oh, but he is key blocked in this room. Unless a key drops, or there's a bomb wall and he picks up a bomb from these Gibdos, because he also has no bombs.
Yeah, this unfortunate circumstance here, where this is the staircase that he most likely needs, but with shuffled drop groups and no keys, is looking a little bit dire for him as far as needing to up A. But it does look like a 3-segment 8.
He's already been in 3 different spots for sure.
So unfortunate for Saber that he's going to have to make his way out. I'm sure that he's marked a bomb shop, but again, the problem here is keys.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's possible that he could bomb his way out of that situation, but he does go and purchase a key for 82 rupees. He found something to do with the surplus of money that he's had this entire seed. And did we have a blue ring on the other side?
Yes, I believe that we had a blue ring purchased by Ampharos, who is in a little bit of better of a key situation than Saber is, but also has not been to the same dungeons.
Yeah, we have a question in chat of wondering who is in the lead. You really can't say in this situation, I think. I mean, Ampharos has more Triforces, but Saber has more items, and we know that the raft is required.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Saber's going to have to clear this room again, and not that I don't think he can do it, it's just a huge time investment. These all take 8 hits each. He does not have any bombs, and this is a nasty room to have to deal with.
And he thinks better of it, it looks like.
Yeah, he's probably either going to purchase some bombs or go look elsewhere on the map for right now. And meanwhile, we're getting a little bit of an exploration up towards the northeast here. We'll see if Ampharos makes his way over towards a level 5, where we have not yet seen what is going on up in this area.
That's true. I can't remember if Saber has been up there or not yet.
Interesting that he did not choose to make a screen wrap. Maybe there's Lionels on the screen north of where the Armos are.
And Saber has gone back into level 4. Looks like there was a potion shop, I believe, on the up by vanilla level 5.
That is correct, yes. Ampharos fighting.
We don't know what the item is in level 4 yet, do we? We have not seen that, correct?
That is correct. We have not yet seen that, so that that could play in. Who knows? I mean, if it's a white sword or something that enhances combat, but he's thinking about it and does go ahead and take the Triforce, and we'll see if he goes back in or not.
Yeah, that is a tough dungeon with the with 4 being a Wizrobe dungeon, which it is technically in the vanilla version of Zelda 1, but you do not see any Wizrobes at any point in it. Trying to fight through that dungeon with those blue Wizrobes just waiting for you, although now he's going to go in with full health after picking up the Triforce.
Yeah, and I mean, it's interesting again to see a deviation here of how these guys are playing. So Ampharos is literally grabbing Triforces and leaving, whereas Saber, kind of uncharacteristically for himself, is actually looking for items. And, you know, with it being shapes and normal HP, I can't say that I blame him, because you're looking for a white sword or maybe a wand, anything to make some of these other dungeons less daunting. And unfortunately, running into the same problem that AA had, which is, well, I need bombs and I need a ladder.
Yeah. So we haven't found level 1 yet, have we? What if the ladder and the recorder are in level 1?
That is a possibility. It does look like Ampharos is going to backtrack to level 7 to take a look and see what is behind this Goma block and perhaps what item is available in here. Let's hope for him that it is not the Bloomerang or something of that nature, or maybe the book, as it will, again, just add on to the pile of level 7 saying, nope, not for you today.
Another thing is he only has 6 rupees now with which to kill the blue Goma. We don't know how many hits it will take.
Yeah, if it's shuffled, that could be rough.
Oh, and he tried to gamble for the double hit and missed one. Oh, and he missed again.
Oh, no.
He's got 2 hits, and he has 2 arrows remaining. Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, and it's shuffled!
Oh, no! That's it! 4 was not enough.
Oh, man, level 7 saying, hey, I don't think so.
Goma, more like Noma.
Indeed, goodness gracious, getting wrecked by level 7 this seed. Wow.
It can go eat a bean, I think.
That is super unfortunate. And again, shuffle drop groups. Who knows what drops money? And you need 5 rupees.
I know he got a bunch off of some gorillas earlier, so hopefully he can find some in here in level 7.
Yes, Rick, please clip that, as that needs to go into the clip collection for this tournament, because that is super unfortunate. Meanwhile, Saber does locate level 3, our Bubblegum Pink, and I'm willing to bet that he's probably going to spend some time digging for an item in here.
Yeah. Probably having the same hope that A Double did as he got into it, that this room right here would have the item, but we find out that level 3 is in fact segmented.
Yeah, one of those rule killers about shapes is like, well, okay, yes, I found the item. Wait, why is there a staircase in this dungeon? Or in the case of like a 3 segment of 1, 2, or 3, you're like, why am I finding all these stairs?
All right, now A Double has 5 rupees, and he believes that to be enough.
Don't miss.
He did. He missed 3 times earlier, and that was his undoing. Could be the play of the night. Could be the big mistake.
Gonna go to the next room and see if he can't track down 2 more rupees. I cannot say that I blame him.
I know we got rupees from red Koreas earlier. The blue one's dropping bombs.
Yeah, I mean, the other side of the coin to the staircase is it's like the level 6 that I had yesterday, where half the things don't actually move.
Yeah. Alright, 6 shots. More than enough to kill anything that moves, as Revolver Ocelot told me.
Saber definitely committed to finding this item.
Oh!
No!
He missed the first 2!
No!
Oh!
Ampharos, not like this, my friend! Not like this!
And then, as Jam asking the question in chat, yes, we have not found level 1 yet.
Yeah, level 1 still unlocated. I believe there's still some locations on Death Mountain, or did AA check the rest? I don't remember.
I couldn't think he's checked. I don't think he checked everything. We find the item in level 3 is the any key.
Thank goodness for Saver.
Yeah.
See it, and it's always that way, right? I went and bought keys, and now we got the any key. But still, with the way keys have been a problem for him thus far this seed, I am sure that is an item he is not unhappy to see.
Yeah. Now,
finds a bomb upgrade.
Now with 39 shots, more than enough to kill anything that moves. A Double going back into 7 one more time.
I am surprised he didn't shoot the orange Goma just out of spite, but he probably would have taken 4 shots.
Yeah, you don't want to risk it here.
Oh man, this is just an unfortunate amount of time sink, and if it ends up being something super unhelpful, like, oh man, what does that do for your mentality for the rest of the race, where you've dumped in nearly, seems like 10 minutes on this dungeon, and then to come out with nothing? He's going all in on the silver arrows and 7 strat.
Yeah. Which I mean, I wouldn't say for someone of his level, but someone maybe of a lesser skill level, matched up against Saber in the tournament, might think silver arrows and 7 is my best shot at winning this.
Yeah, and before there's another blue Goma blocking the actual item.
Yeah, I don't know that Fred's found a way to take the keys out of the staircase. Jam, being sadistic as all get out, saying in chat he wants to see the book. This is how you get people to follow you, Jam.
I'll be honest. At this rate, I'm feeling like it'll be the book or the blue boomerang. Like,
well, here we find it is the recorder. All right, maybe an okay item. He can get to level 4 now.
He can get to level 4 now.
Or to level 5. But you know what I'm talking about, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually level 8 is
or
what
8,
it ends up being.
Sorry.
But yeah, that's actually a big deal for him.
He's going straight to Recorder Lake, though, it looks like. Holding out for a hero of Hyrule that this is going to be level 1.
Yeah, and then, it still has to have that 50-50 shot that we whistle to original dungeons, and if it doesn't, he's still got to go dig that raft.
It is level 1! Oh, man! What a seed!
The tides
what
have
a
turned.
seed! Will Saver ever even think about going back to 7 until he has exhausted all other options?
Oh my goodness, this is a big deal paying off wow, the time dividend has paid off so heavy for Ampharos, it's not even funny.
Yeah, the time he spent fighting the the Goma in 7 way more worth it than the time that Saber spent fighting the Dark Nuts in 8.
Yeah, oh my goodness, what a seed! 5-hit Goma blocks Recorder to enter level 1, news at 12.
In other news, Saber picking up the Triforce in 3 would have been a big deal 30 seconds ago, but now,
Now it's like, wow! And what are the items in level 1? You know, that could just, wow.
One of them is the Silver Arrow.
Holy cow! Yeah, and so it's, you know, Saber buying arrows, but now it's 0 rupees, which we know can be a problem.
If he has Goma on his mind, he needs more than 4.
Wow, what a seed! You got to be thinking at this point that Ampharos is probably feeling pretty good, as he's found, I believe, every dungeon but 8, which he'll need the raft for. But if he ends up using the whistle and getting where he needs to be, then he's going to be able to avoid that completely. And he's got silvers in the bow, so now we just need the ladder.
He has to give up some more life once again to get through a room.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, he's like, I don't know that I care. I have silver arrows and bow.
He's got the blue ring. He's got the bow and silver arrow. He knows that the recorder that unlocks level 1 is in the place that Saber is least likely to look by his normal strategy.
Just amazing. What a seed.
And could the Dongos here be holding the other item? Oh, and he gets the double hit.
Yeah, that's always nice. These triple Dodongo rooms can be so annoying sometimes.
Or it can't because there was a shutter door, I guess.
Well, it could be the item drop on the ground, which is the one he's still looking for.
Fair point. Maybe these blue gorillas have it.
Yeah, Jam making a really great point, where everything is on the west side of Hyrule.
This is a Pacific Coast seed for sure. And it's the power bracelet.
Which, unfortunately, I don't believe it matters. Well, yeah, I don't believe it matters.
Doesn't seem likely. We haven't seen any of the Take Any roads, so you got to think that's where those are at this point.
Yeah, so the question is, where is that ladder? Is it in level 8?
8 seems to be the smart money, because there are 2 items there. And as A-Double picks up the Triforce in 1, can we say at this point, even if it's not a definitive lead, he is definitely in the lead in this seed?
I would definitely say he's in the driver's seat at this point, knowing that Saver still needs to go back into 7 to find the item, just to get the recorder to find 1.
Right.
I feel like AA has definitely got a definitive lead at this point.
And it looks like the recorder does take you to normal dungeon locations, and he is whistling to Vanilla 4 as we speak. Oh no, he went to 6. I thought he only hit it once. He was at 3 and hit it once. I take that back. Saver going into level 8. This could be what he needs to get back in, if this is the ladder somewhere in here.
So curiosity gets me on what exactly AA is doing. He might be going back to level 3, perhaps? Doesn't look like it.
He has not found 5, so maybe he is continuing to... Well, this route is certainly interesting.
Checking the forgotten spot, it seems like.
Ah, yes, the forgotten spot. I guess I forgot about it.
And it means a door repair, unfortunately.
Better luck next time. Now he's going back over to the west side.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if he utilizes the strategy of being able to check that raft location. Depending on when that happens, this could even itself back up. I mean, not knowing that the dungeon is there for sure obviously means, hey, I may not check that, but it is definitely the option that's available to him, unless he wants to dig out that raft in 5.
Yeah, you gotta wonder if he's going to find the raft in. He has not found level 5 yet. He may find the raft in 5 before it occurs to him that it may be raft block and that would even be an option. So,
And Saber getting back to where he was, again showcasing those really good combat skills to take out the Dark Nuts in that reverse C room. And it looks like he's going to heavily dig items in 8, and again is met by another Chevy block.
The ladder, crucial so far in this seed. It may not be a big player in 9, but in order to get to 9, you got to get through 1 through 8, and certainly ladder has proven to be an issue in a couple of levels. It was blocking him in 4 earlier, and he managed to get around that, but now is in 8 the same way. More exploration from A-Double. Wondering if he's going to go back. He did find level 5. Wondering if he's now going to go ahead and go back in there. Aim at the eyes of Goma, the hint says in level 8.
5 times.
Multiple times.
Who knew that hit would be so truthful?
3 ain't enough. He needs 5.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to change the hint type from normal to helpful. And look at that, level 8. Definitely a cactus.
Wait, who's Jam's hosting this, right? Yep, it's a cactus.
Meanwhile, you got to hope for something like a white sword or something for Saber here to help him catch back up. And we have a tri-clock. The reason why that happens is because the gels and the red keys don't actually increment the drop counter. So when they actually have a drop, whatever it is, that's what they're stuck on.
It's all there, yeah. So the first one was 16, and they all follow suit. Or not 16, that's fairies. I take that back. And the raft found by A-Double, so it may be a moot point as to the whole recorder issue in as far as getting to level 8. But
yeah, and I mean, the only real advantage that Saber has right now is the indie key, but you know, Ampharos has got 10 keys, so it doesn't really matter. At that point, the indie key is pretty much a moot point, and so
which means he's going to find it.
Which means he's going to find it, definitely, if he digs for it. But having the raft now, and the recorder, and the power bracelet, you're still looking for the ladder, I think. But for the most part,
we have
Saber
the ladder.
finds it in 8. Which, again, is the dungeon that Ampharos has left. So you have to assume he's probably going to spend some time digging there.
Heart container pickup for Ampharos, which is great because of he's already given up 2 hearts to the life or money situations. Finding himself ladder blocked in 5, but he has the silver arrows just to make sure that's not a drop he needs.
Yeah, so again, the question is going to be, when does Saber go back to 7? That's going to determine everything.
I don't have a crystal ball into his mind, but just from watching last year's tournament, he's going to figure it out because he does a great job of keeping track of what needs to be done. But just from his normal, traditional style of play, I still think it's going to be one of the last things he would do unless something tips him off.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing he has left after this is level 6 to go into.
Oh, and Dig Dogger blocking a shutter door to the Triforce.
Oh, no. Not like this.
And he needs to kill Goma in level 7 in order to get the recorder to get the Triforce in level 8.
This actually might be a blessing in disguise for him, though, at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's been digging items, so he knows where he needs to go. So that might have been the best possible situation to happen.
He's not thrilled about it right now, I can guarantee that, but you may be right. Oh, and A-Double finding the troll room of Dark Nuts in the T room with the Triforce. He does not have his Japirs, the beam swords, so going to have to find another way to take care of the dark nuts around the outside, which will cost him some keys unless he can get them to spawn. Oh, he got them to spawn on the inside now.
Jay Cooper, I agree that he's going to have to get it regardless, but this means that he knows he needs it to finish level 8, which means he now currently needs that he knows that he needs it, versus having to search the majority of the rest of what he has left on the overworld to discover the location of level 1. So with that in mind, he can save himself possibly some searching on the overworld if he finds that recorder before doing the rest of the overworld search.
True, and meanwhile, we have the Triforce pickup by A Double, which leaves him only level 8 remaining, and he's already there by way of the recorder. Someone was doing his math out there and figured out where he thought that extra level might be. Raft sort of required, depending on the order in which you perform this seed.
Yeah, and Saber with just 2 bombs in a Tridongo room left. Let's see how this plays out for him, as he needs to get to the right side of this dungeon to finish looking for the last item. It does end up getting bombs, so he should be all right.
Although I assume he's going to be disappointed by whatever item he finds.
At this point, it could be a red ring or a white sword.
That is true, but neither of those the item that he is looking for at the moment.
Very true as well. It could play in later on as far as, what needs to be done in level 9. So we'll see how that ends up playing out.
He finds himself shuttered in a room with 6 blue dark nuts.
Nasty.
Going with the safety strat of clipping himself into a block and swinging his sword at anything that moves.
Yeah, and this is going to be a massive time investment to clear this room. And as Jay Cooper pointed out, this is exactly what AA needed to have an advantage over Saver in this particular type of randomizer.
And he had the potion. A-Double had the potion loaded up. I had to think he was going to have used it. He's playing much more aggressive in this reverse C blue dark nut room than Saver did earlier. Foregoing the hearts for speed, knowing that he needs to get the Triforce in 8, hopefully stumble across the ladder, and then I'm not sure if he's found 9 yet or not.
I don't think he had to have, because he went that direction before finishing level 5. So I'm almost positive that he has located level 9. But you're right, he is definitely being more aggressive in this room, using a potion charge. But he's got a blue ring, so he should be okay. Yeah. It'll just depend on what route he decides to take. If he ends up having to deal with this room that Saver's in, he could end up using a lot of time to get an item that may not be that good. 1 room left. Let us hope that it's not the item. This should be the item staircase, but we'll find out.
It is, and it is the book.
Oh no, that is the worst possible thing. Saber has got to be super frustrated right now. And then has to make his way back out of here. I'm not sure. I figure he'd probably just up A and try to go back to the Triforce at this point, but looks like he's going to fight his way out. I guess he'd have to re-clear that reverse C room if he did, so yeah, this is the better choice.
And he can't get to the Triforce anyway, because of the Dig Dogger.
Right, so I'm not quite sure what he's doing, is he's currently found both items in level 8 and cannot get to the Triforce. That's a great point.
Now, I did not see Ampharos pick up the ladder.
He did not.
All right.
He does, however, have all 8 Triforce pieces.
This may be an unnecessary gamble.
Yeah, he's going to make his way to 9 without a ladder. So, again, you got to hand the advantage to AA right now, as he has got all the Triforce pieces. He has got silver arrows, and meanwhile, Saver is still trying to figure out where, at this point, the recorder and level 1 are.
Yeah. And without the knowledge of where Saver is, I can understand the gamble he's taking here, But in the end, I don't know that it would be necessary, and it could do more harm than the potential it has for good. But again,
well, you gotta
like
think it's Saver, and we're
yeah.
we're coming into an hour, and there's not a dot done. I would have been sweating 10 minutes ago. And you know, meanwhile, Saver going back into level 4, which we know is not going to net him what he needs.
That is true. We never found the item in 4, but we know it's what it isn't. And a very, very dark level 9. Ampharos going in with 9 keys and 7 bombs and 186 silver arrows.
Z-Man, he has already purchased arrows, so if you want to do a @ JamEvil Saver has arrows, feel free to do that.
Immediately blocked by a staircase. In 9 was a double. Sees a spot where he can get some bombs for free from a like, and immediately is burning keys. He still has 8, but you hate to think that there could be more required.
And Saber, running out of bombs in 4, kills an orange Wizrobe who just happens to be on the right count and be in the bomb dropping group, gets pack 4 bombs.
Always lucky.
Unfortunately, still not having any luck getting around in this dungeon, and searching heavily for that item, and has to think, you know, that this is where he needs to be, but just not having the luck right now.
We found the pig
Ganon
in his room. Oh, 0 HP.
Point.
0 HP. So swords are not an issue when it comes to the Ganon fight. So that leaves Patra as the most dangerous enemy in the game, I would think, even though we have yet to come across that little bugger.
Indeed, and the only thing right now that's going to stop AA from winning is if the only access to Zelda's room
through a ladder
in it.
Yeah. But the race is on to locate the hero of Hyrule.
Saber's still having no luck with these bomb walls in level 4. And again, Shapes is super frustrating for this because you don't know where to look necessarily, and you can just use so many of your bombs and end up not making any progress.
Oh, there's one ladder block in 9, and I understand Saber's frustration with that. I remember when the whole Shapes idea was introduced, I was like, but that takes out all the strategy. What does it matter now that you know what the dungeons look like? Zarnak's pointing out making an interesting point, but it really applies to whoever loses this seed.
And he finds her getting not even required.
Dot is done. We have a victory for the A double.
Wow, Ganon not even required, but finding the right staircase, and the ladder gamble pays off.
Again, not even sure if it was necessary, but it worked out to his favor. Killing Ganon for good measure. And I agree, Janice 06. This was quite the match.
Yeah, it's just, again, this is exactly what Ampharos was looking for in a seed, and he got it.
He rolled a 20 at the right time.
T-Laws 20, yes, sir. Meanwhile, Saber making his way back across the map, and going towards Eastern Hyrule, which we know contains absolutely nothing.
There is squat on the eastern side of Hyrule. This is like St. Louis. He does pick up another large secret, which feels like his 8th large secret of the seed. piling up the money, but that is all he's going to find on the eastern side.
And AA dropping in. I don't think Shapes was the issue here. The issue was AA being stubborn and hard-headed about level 7, and it absolutely paying off.
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna guess I was the only one, I don't know if I want to say dumb enough, but bold enough when he found Triforce in 7 to say, oh, I'll keep going. Oh, I'll give up a heart container. None of that matters.
It's Goma twice and have to go get rupees? Oh, no.
Oh, when I had not attacked a boss monster up to that point in the game, so I was like, 50-50 it'll die in 1 hit. If not, 50-50 it'll die in 3 arrows. When it didn't die in 4, I was like, okay, that's cool. I remember where the blue rupee is. That's going to be tough. Then I failed it, and I'm like, let's go get this secret.
So, on a scale of 1 to putts, how upset were you?
I was at about 90% of a putts.
Yeah, I mean, again, that is... I don't even think it was Shapes in this case. I really think that right there is what matters, because Saver did get the Triforce out of 7, and he's going everywhere but 7 to look for the recorder, which he now knows he needs because he's ran into the recorder block in level 8, and he's been digging level 4, which you never even got the item out of.
Oh, I skipped a ton of items, and I was terrified of it. But
yeah, how about the no ladder? That was a bold move, and it ended up paying off for you.
Where was the ladder?
It was
in level 8.
Oh, yeah, because by the time I have more than half the Triforce and I haven't sniffed a hint of a ladder block, at that point it's just as fast to see if I can reach Zelda as to see if I can find the stupid ladder, right?
Well, I thought it was interesting that you went back into 5, but then didn't spend any time in level 8. But then at the end of the day, ended up using the recorder to get to where it was anyways for level 8, which is a cool little trick that you could do if the seed plays it right for you.
Yeah, well, I had to dig level 5 really hard for the Triforce anyway. But what I did, I found at 5, and I'm like, okay, I have 2 more spots I can check in the world, hypothetically without Raft. I'm going to see if they happen to be levels 8 and 9. One of them was 9. I'm like, well, there's a really high chance I need this Raft, and I'm going to see if I can find 5's item while looking for Triforce. Happened to find it before Triforce anyway, and it was Raft, so that made me feel pretty relieved.
This is, I think, the 4th Chevy room in level 4 now.
Thankfully, he does have the ladder, though, at least.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he dug the 2nd item in level 8, which was in the diagonal stairs. This is the 5th Chevy room in level 4. The diagonal with 6 blue dark nuts and shutter doors just to find the book.
Oh, that's rough, because my whole seed was really defined by my early game in level 7, too. Because, I saw a large level 7 that I know Saver's not digging it. If it's a required item, that could be the edge I need. And then I see the Goma, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is the item. And that's totally why I bought wood arrows, which usually I'm not inclined to buy. And then, when late in the game, when I was running low on spots and still had so many dungeons left to find, I was like, I probably need Raft or Recorder. Let's go for the item. I know where it is.
Indeed, and Saver digging out that item, which was clear at the very top of level 4, turns out to be the white sword, which will help him move through the dungeons a little bit faster, but still has to make his way back to level 7, and he's going to 6.
Yeah, it's going to be a huge help for him against Ganon as well, Kappa.
Definitely.
Who's not even Ganon required. Who wasn't required, but Zelda appeared to be total magic staircase there.
Yeah, I mean, what were your thoughts about, and again, I think this is why you were in that go mode, defining the silver arrows there in level 1, which again, it's extremely rare to ever see silver arrows outside of level 9.
I started off being a little amused. Then I was like, okay, red ring could be anywhere. And furthermore, man, I needed wood arrows to get to these silvers. What a good purchase.
Yeah, indeed.
So Saver going back to 6, he doesn't even have the Triforce out of 6 yet. He has found it, but has not picked it up yet.
Oh yeah, when I was, because like I was being a realist about my combat abilities when I was in 6. I'm like, 6 is the quote new 7, because 6 in shapes is like 7 in not shapes in terms of how worth it is. It's a Wizrobe dungeon. I have a wood sword. I hadn't bought the blue ring yet, I don't think. Like, yeah, this is not a place for me to be. Triforce in like 4th room. Let's just take it and get out of here.
Yeah, I mean, you made all the right decisions in this particular seed, even if it didn't seem like it. I mean, the time investment you had in 7 was astounding, honestly. If you think about it in like a normal race amount of time, the amount that you put into that is generally a really bad idea, especially early. But it just turned out in this case, there happened to be the recorder there, and that is the item that you needed to unlock the seed.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie that I was lucky. It's what it takes to beat an opponent like this one.
I agree. And I mean, again, all the risks you took, you had 2 take your monies that you blew hearts on without even thinking about it. That you're exactly right. You have to make these kind of risks in order to beat an opponent of Saver's caliber, and it just so happens that he hasn't found that recorder yet.
Yeah, I think we could deem this one the perfect storm seed. It has nothing to do with the quality of play for A double, but the fact that his least favorite dungeon to go back into has the one item he needs to, 1, get the Triforce out of level 8, and 2, even locate level 1 to begin with.
Yeah, indeed.
Low-key, Shape 7 is not as bad as... Like, level 7 gets a bad rap, because, in the last tournament, level 7 was where everyone's run went to die.
Oh, I totally agree, but for Saver, who is not as much of a proponent of the Shapes races as you are, maybe he's still in that mentality a little bit.
Yeah, and that's why I had to give a special thanks to my friends the Shapes.
Yeah, 6 becomes so nasty in shapes, especially with its size and the fact that it can be segmented, so you're looking all over the place for the different staircases. Turns out that Mr. Grumble decided today to migrate over to level 6 this time around too, so definitely taking the place of level 7.
Yeah, Shape 6, especially with the non-shuffled monsters guaranteeing it to be Wizrobes, that's a horrible place. I was overwhelmingly relieved that it was early Triforce.
Yeah, indeed. Like, and again, about the time you grabbed your 3rd or 4th Triforce, I'm like, yeah, he's just not looking for anything. He's just gonna go. And the kind of my comment was, you were probably metagaming it just a little bit in the fact that, you're up against Saver, and generally speaking, his mentality is, I'm just not gonna look for anything unless I need it, and that is how you played this game, and it turned out to be exactly what you needed to do.
Yeah, like early on, I did extra digging, thinking, I might get a critical item in an early find, digging further than he would. But when 7, I left empty-handed, other than some important knowledge, as it turned out. Then, what was my second dungeon? 4, I wasn't able to find the item there. I guess from what Saver discovered, 4's item was hideously buried.
Very top, behind 5 Chevy rooms.
Yeah, there's no way I was ever getting that. I never even found the ladder. But then, level 2, I had to, full clear the place to find the red candle, which at least was very helpful. Red candle did work, but it took me a lot of time to get a not required item out of 2. I was like, I gotta assume that I'm losing time in the dungeons I've done so far. I gotta pick up the pace.
Yeah, and I've... Just out of curiosity, as you know, are we looking at bow and recorder technically being the only 2 required items in this seed?
Technically speaking, with the way the flags played out, yeah, that is correct.
Very interesting. In a game where so much importance is placed on the ladder and silver arrows, here with these random % flags.
Colin, the reason why raft was not required in this particular seed is because you could whistle to original vanilla dungeon locations, which means he could whistle to the raft location, which is where level 8 was, without actually having to have the raft. And unfortunately for Saver, finds the boomerang in level 6, will pick it up while throwing around the orange as it transforms midair magically, and has got to, at this point, think, well, darn, I hate you, level 7. The real question is here, I don't know how much of the overworld he's actually searched, but the question has got to be if he's going to go search elsewhere for level 1 before going to level 7, or if he will just go in there and then find, well, this would have sucked anyways.
Yeah. For sanity's sake, I'm really hoping he goes back to 7 next.
I would assume that Saver would full clear the overworld if level 1's still not found before going diving for recorders and such.
Oh, he just put recorder in level 7 on his tracker. So, he has it in his head.
Because, yeah, like, when I dug that recorder out and then immediately found one at the dried lake, that was the moment I was like, you know, this was really advantageous. I could win this race.
Oh, wait, he put the power bracelet up there in his tracker now at level 7. That is interesting, but he has gone to 7, so either way, that's where he's looking. He does have 155 rupees, which should be enough to clear that blue Goma.
Well, we certainly know that 12 wasn't enough.
I only entered that room with 7, and then the second time I had 5. If I had 12 all at once, it would have been a different story.
Indeed. It was a segmented Goma.
So, like, oh my goodness, if this guy's got 5 HP, and it turns out he did. Just an unfortunate HP shuffle there for you.
That was a hard way to discover that flag was set.
Yeah, and then missing the next shot. Luckily, you were able to go find a secret and get the rupees, but, you know, again, if you're playing against somebody like Saver, you're like, I really don't want to be spending time going in and out of this dungeon just to kill a Goma.
Yeah, that was actually kind of doubly lucky the way the secret played out, because, you know, I'd saved to that area earlier in the game, and I only had 3 bombs, Southern Coast. I'm like, I haven't really found that many bomb-dropping enemies, so 70 rupees is worth less to me than 3 bombs. I'll leave them here for later. And then when that happened, I'm like, you know, I'll just go pick up 35 of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I feel like your decision to buy the blue ring wasn't super impactful, but it definitely changed the way you were able to play level 8 in that reverse C room, which Saber, I believe, cleared 2 or 3 times with the Wit Sword and no tunic. Which, again, it's just, it's a brutal room to have those guys in because it's so hard to combat them.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I saw that immediately after I'd up aid to save small amounts of time, and I was like, I'll miss this health, but this is why I took a red potion.
Indeed, and down in the bottom portion of Saber's we have a highlighted yellow background with red text that says, I love shapes, exclamation, in all caps.
Something tells me that's a deceptive hint.
Saber did buy the wood arrows before finding the Goma block. He does not know that there is a block.
Okay, because that would have been just a double amount of pain to find that without the wood arrows after everything else.
Yeah, indeed. He bought those and ended up being at 0 rupees, so he could have ended up in the same problem you did if you went back into 7 early. But, you know, somebody making the comment in before Saver's Big 7 next race, and it ends up being the book, and that very well may be the case. But it just seems like level 7 is Saver's kryptonite.
That level 7 had a really cool shape.
Yeah, and Saver finding that life or money room does burn the 50 rupees because he has it extra. So, yeah, unfortunately, reducing the amount of shots he has by 1/3, but still should be okay, I think.
Someone pointed out that the level 7, they described it as Salvador Dali's version of the waterworks in Monopoly.
Nice.
So a fun bit of induction you could do on that level 7 when you saw it Because you know how 7 and 8 are mirror images of each other? The way shapes work? As soon as I saw level 7's map, I was like, you know, 8's sectional. That's why I didn't bomb around in 8 trying to avoid killing the Dark Nuts. I knew it'd be futile.
Yeah, level 8 ended up being a bit of a nasty map. It was pretty big.
Not to mention the fact that Dig Dogger had a shutter door in front of one room shy of the Triforce in a corner.
Yep, and Saber tried to find this staircase to get to the top section there. Or it shouldn't be a staircase to get to the top section. I don't know if a bomb wall didn't go off or what.
Yeah, I never actually saw 8's map. When I saw that one staircase led to the far northeast, I assumed that was just like a floating room or something.
Yeah, I think it was
My
two
favorite
rooms
type
over
of
there.
section.
Yeah, there's 2 rooms up in the very northeast corner by themselves. We were getting confirmation from chat that Saber has yet to attempt to bomb up into the section.
Yeah, I think he's figured it out since there's already used the one staircase to get to that bottom, to actually get to this section of the map. And since it is not segmented, there cannot be another staircase. And yes, that is 100% correct. 7 and 6 flip-flop places on do I want to actually explore it when it shapes, because 6 ends up getting usually the nastier end of the deal.
All right,
And
the
everybody,
seed is
put in
opening up.
chat how many arrows you think it will take Saber to kill Goma.
There's 1. It'll take at least 6. There's 2. There's 3. It'll take at least 7. There's 4. I feel like 7 would be an appropriate number. 5, 6. And 1 more for good measure. 7 to complete Saber's favorite dungeon. He has now found the recorder.
Can we palette swap that to silver real quick? Now, I'm sure he'll make his way back over to level 8 now to get that taken care of, and then I'm sure he'll head right to Recorder Lake to find level 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had to guess, Recorder Lake's probably the last spot in the world he hasn't checked, and he knows it must be 1. Because with 1 still at large, there's no way he wouldn't have confirmed it, you know?
I fully agree. I mean, I would have gone to 1 before doing that for sure. Digging 4, 6, and 7, so that must be the last spot on the map. Fortunately, he has got a white sword to deal with this Dark Nut room for the 3rd or 4th time now.
Yeah.
Making
Only
a much
having
faster
3
work
hearts.
of it.
Yeah. Only having 3 hearts, having a little extra oomph behind your sword certainly will help. Now down to 1 heart after he took a stab. I think at this point we're all rooting for him to get through this. There we go. But
yeah, just the perfect set of flags for you, Ampharos. This is what you were asking for, and you definitely got it.
Now, to be fair, I did ask for Mixed Quest Overworld, but I only got most of what I wanted. That's good enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he didn't get everything, but he got more than enough of anything, paired with the fact, as I think, as I put it on Twitter, really I would say a rising star of the Zelda Randomizer these past few months. Between his ability and just the pure dumb bad luck that Saver has had, has been a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, as soon as I found level 7 in a spot that shouldn't have a dungeon, confirming overworld mix, and then immediately saw from my starting screen that it was shapes because I was too far to the left for vanilla 7. I was like, thank you, game.
The thing is, Saber does not know yet that Silver Arrows and Red Ring have not been forced to level 9.
It's not really going to matter.
But you'll find, that's true, but he doesn't know that. Silver Arrows, of course, were on the way to everything else in 1, I think.
Yeah, silver arrows were a place you'd probably find before Triforce in 1. Power Bracelet was a lot deeper. I just assumed that the 4 Power Bracelet rocks are the 4 any roads because I never found an any road, and there's only 5 spots in the world I didn't check.
Yeah, neither of us, nobody saw any roads, so seems like a fair assumption. And we do have a pickup of the map by Saver, finding the Crooked Indiana level 1.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, he's going to run into silver arrows, I think, regardless, and I don't think he'll spend the time digging the other item. He might, but once he finds the silver arrows, he should be making his way to level 9 pretty quick.
Yeah, and I think he may, if it's possible to have a better time in 9 than A Double did, he might, because he does have the ladder and he does have the any key, so all bets are off on trying to decide whether or not to go through a room.
I mean, that could almost work against him in a way, because there might have been a bomb wall somewhere, but as far as I could tell, that was a crazy magic staircase, and every time my options were limited was just funneling me towards Zelda.
True. Although, even though Ganon was not required, finding him in his room what could have been potentially a huge hint for you, knowing then that chances are Zelda was in her room, and therefore only accessible from one direction.
Oh yeah, I totally was trying to maximize the amount of up I could explore as soon as I saw Ganon where he was. That was half the reason I went to kill him right away, along with the obvious, if he's dead and he was required, that's going to make it all that much easier to find Zelda.
Indeed. Saver does pick up the Triforce in level 1, foregoes getting that extra item, and now discovering that whistles do go to normal conditions.
Which has to be really annoying, because level 5 was so close to 9.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I mean, it takes the whistle to level 1, seeing as how 9 didn't do a very good job of hiding this time around, but hopefully, again, like you were talking about, having the ladder and the any key doesn't cost him a whole bunch of time in 9, because like you're saying, when you don't have those options, you play the level much more differently than you normally would, and in some cases like yours, it pays off, and that could have in fact been the only staircase.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Not that I had to be that key conservative, because I entered with, 11 keys?
Yeah, 10 or 11, yeah.
And Saber is in fact a 9.
Oh, and runs into a Patra immediately. Our first Patra find of the night, taking multiple hits. So we see a path divergence immediately. I don't remember, where was Ganon? Was he in the northeast somewhere?
Yeah, you took that very first staircase and you immediately heard his roar.
Yeah. Well, Saber changing his route now, so attempting to bomb out of this double block via room. We'll find that is not an option.
Unfortunately, the red keys gets stuck on heart, so he does collect a few extra health drops before heading on through.
Now, assuming the race is on for him to figure out which direction Ganon is in. Again, he has no idea that Ganon is not required. But at least you do get the small bit of information from Ganon being in his room as to what the odds are. The odds that he's in his room without Zelda being in hers seem pretty low.
Yeah, and he hears Ganon and looks like he's opting to not go fight him right away, which is a little bit of a gamble. Generally, I'll try to go kill Ganon if I hear him and I've already got the means to do so, but he is doubling back, it looks like, just taking a quick route through to see if he could figure out if Zelda is there or not. But I definitely should be going to kill Ganon here pretty quick, just to make sure.
It's not like killing this Ganon was much of an ordeal.
Fair point.
Right, but again, he doesn't know that. I mean, he does have a white sword, but he doesn't have, a white a white ring, a blue ring, or anything like that, but we'll quickly discover 0 HP Ganon.
Yeah, I was pretty sure Ganon wasn't going to be a problem. I still had half of that red potion left, and I had the blue ring. I was like, if it's 15 hits with my wood sword, so be it. But then it was 1, so that was pretty easy.
Yeah, that's always a relief. It's like, oh, okay, well, there goes the hardest part of this. I mean, other than, there could still be some nasty rooms in here with the whiz ropes, depending on what you need to kill, but, it's always nice to get the pig out of the way. Justin, man, he's just looking at the glass half full. It's half a red potion instead of a blue potion. Maybe he's just a Coke guy. Who knows?
So Saber going through a staircase here. Is this the staircase that led directly to Zelda?
No, because I believe it was a right-hand staircase.
Okay.
That he popped out of, rather.
Yeah. I was looking at Saber's screen until I saw the Zelda room on a double side.
Yeah, you kind of had to go left a bunch in that section you ended up with Ganon, and then you found the possibly magic staircase. I obviously didn't go around and rigorously confirm the fact that this was the only way I could reach Zelda.
Yeah, and Saber's passing up the Lanmola staircases. I don't remember if it was one of those that took you to her. I don't believe it was, so, I mean, it's not a bad choice on his part, picking up bombs from these likes with the silver arrows. And it looks like he will go back down and kill this Lanmola, so we'll see where this takes him. That'd be nowhere. That is the worst. That's how I felt last night in level 6. I'm like, okay, clear the room. Nope, not a staircase. And I had that 5 rooms in a row, and I'm like, where is the stairs? Especially at level 9, when you're guaranteed to have at least 6 staircases, you gotta wonder where they're at. Ends up getting a key out of this one, just not having any luck with the stairs.
So is he gonna go? Did he fight? Did he kill the Lanmolas in the room to the left of him?
He did not. I would assume he'll do that now.
So, based on what he found, what are the 2 items in 9? The red ring and the wand?
That is correct, yeah. Third time is the charm with the double block rooms, and he does find a staircase. Which drops him into a spiral with the Patra in the map.
So I know this isn't
Again, we've got 2 hints that I think are probably make this off of normal to helpful. Shoot into the eyes of Goma, and Patra has the map.
Patra also has Saber's life.
And, given where 9 was, I think Spectacle Rock as an entrance to death is still pretty accurate.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So,
The adjacent lot, at least.
It just moved over for renovation, that's all. And Dig Dogger hates certain types of sound, as Jake Ober pointed out, is indeed needed to get the Triforce in 8, so...
And Dragon Dark saying the secret's where fairies don't live.
Yeah, so we have...
Was this vanilla after all?
Was this vanilla hints, yeah.
Tragically, I did not find that there are secrets where fairies don't live text. It must have been buried somewhere. Maybe I should have dug a little harder for it.
Well,
indeed.
One thing to note, though, on yours, Ampharos, the rate of speed at which you bolted to Recorder Lake after finding the recorder in level 7, pretty impressive. Was that outside of raft spots? Was that the only thing you had left on your map at that point?
Well, no. Here was my situation. At the time I went back into 7, I only had I had 3 dungeons left to find, 1, 5, and 9. I still hadn't done the eastern part of Death Mountain, which is 4 spots, or everyone's favorite annoying spot northwest of 1 that Saber probably checked a half hour before I did because he screen scrolls. But I'm like, 5 spots left, 3 dungeons left to find. It's pretty likely I need the recorder or the raft, and when I happen to get the recorder, and it's on my way back up to Death Mountain anyway, Recorder Lake seemed like a really obvious play.
Well, turned out to be the correct one. There it is. Patra has the map. We do get the hint from the old man.
And it is indeed truthful. Yeah, Saver looks like he is definitely playing for the up game, but unfortunately not having a whole lot of luck with that.
Yeah,
And,
which...
gosh, another staircase that's not a staircase.
Hopefully he does not... The old man doesn't say go to the next room in this, does he?
I mean, he will. It might or might not be accurate, but he'll say it.
Oh...
How interesting will that be if that's on the bottom side by that staircase and indeed turns out to be truthful?
Sadly, I'm pretty sure that Eyes of Skull do not have a secret this time.
Yeah, Eyes of Skull have been massively rearranged. As he bombs up in this Wizrobe room, maybe you can... because again, it all happened so fast on Ampharos' end, I can't even remember what we were looking at for finding
Red
Zelda.
ring!
Well, he only has one heart, so I guess he'll take it.
Hey, now he has 4 hearts, kinda.
Yeah, I mean, not something you'll complain about at this point, obviously, especially sitting at 1 heart. Likes do drop things. I believe they're in the bomb group this time.
Yeah, like, what bomb droppers did I even find? One of the 2 speeds of red and blue Octorok dropped bombs, but not the other one. I could never figure out which was which. Blue Tektites, blue Moblins, and, or not blue Moblins, blue Gorias, rather, and Likes. I think those are the only bomb droppers I found.
Yeah, the red Gurias were dropping money.
Oh yeah, red Tektites were really rich. They helped me finance a blue candle.
Which you then shortly right after found the Take Any.
And then found the red candle.
And then
yeah, I found the red candle before the blue candle really made a... I burned 1 bush with the blue candle. But, you know...
You did use that blue candle in the red candle item drop room, so you made a little bit of use out of it.
Candles are pretty underappreciated weapons, especially early in the game, or the whole game if you never find anything better than the wood sword. They're ranged, they hit multiple times, they cover a lot of space. Good weapons.
Yeah, it's interesting to note here that Saver is not clearing rooms looking for a compass, which generally is one of the strategies that you employ when trying to do these flags, is find the compass and or Zelda as quickly as possible, but has skipped a few rooms which could in fact be that compass room.
I mean, I pretty much agree with not clearing enemies for compass, especially like you see a room full of Wizrobes, you're like, how many different rooms could I check manually in the time it will take me to kill these dudes?
Yeah, but what if there's Zols and Gels?
Yeah, that's when you start having to weigh your options a little, you know? I don't know if he's like I was and has like 180 silver arrows to just nuke everything that's not a Wizrobe.
He does have a lot of money.
He has switched to the arrows now because of some bubble issues.
But Saber doesn't use select swaps, so that's going to somewhat dissuade him from that strategy.
Yes, indeed. He has made very good use of pause strats in this game, however.
Yeah, like, if anyone's gameplay makes an argument for not using select swap at Saber, he gets a whole lot out of pause buffers. But man, I think I hit select as much as I hit A or B with select swap. I'm just cycling constantly.
Yeah, me too, man. Like, and I play without select swap, and it's like I spend more time pausing in a game than I do actually playing.
Yeah, I pretty much can't play vanilla for no select swap if nothing else. Because I just pause the game every time I want to switch items, and not the pause that you're supposed to use.
Randomizer player problems. I believe that this is the correct stair. Nope, that's not it.
Yeah, he's running into too many ladder blocks for it to be correct.
Yeah, I think that really has played a big part. He's been able to cross all these Chevy rooms that he's ran into, whereas you didn't. So you were looking for any place else, and it just turned out to be the right spot.
Yeah, I think I only ran into one Chevy room, but it was in a really central location. It might have been the key to the whole non-useful section of 9.
Yeah, we as far as to answer the question about the Epic Yoshi and Zarnax race, we restreamed it for 4 hours, at which point most of us were about to fall over. And I did inform him in IRC that we were going to go ahead and cut stream, and he toughed it out and finished it with, I think, a finish time of like 5 hours and 6 minutes. But he unfortunately he is a newer player and got shapes in a mixed overworld and a whole bag of tricks that you just don't want as a newer player. But absolute kudos to him for sticking it out and finishing out the seed.
Yeah, like, it's something that's easy to underestimate as a viewer. It is hard to tough out a 5-hour completion when your opponent finishes in under 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it takes some level of guts to just even do it.
Yeah, and again, it's a learning experience too, right? You're in a race setting, and while you can quit, it's valuable to learn how to play in those settings. And so, you know, one of the tips that a lot of people gave him is he wasn't using his tracker the whole time, and so was backtracking a lot. And I think there's a lot of things that he will take away from that race that he had that will improve his time drastically in the next one for the next round. Saber whipping out of the staircase.
Decided against going into the staircase, although it looks like he may go back now, yes.
Yeah, I was really hoping to get to finish out the stream for him, because again, being able to watch through one of your races with commentary can be really helpful for learning things about the game that perhaps you didn't know. But it was just we had gone through 4 commentators, and at that point it was pretty late for everybody, and so we unfortunately had to cut the stream.
Right. Saber, again, running into too many ladder blocks and patras, of which Ampharos went through neither for this to have been the correct route.
I never saw a patra.
Yeah.
He's run into about everyone you could run into, unfortunately.
Eyes of
Yeah,
Skull.
no matter whether it's shapes or vanilla, there should be 5 patras in 9.
Now he's got the eternal feedback loop on these Wizrobes. And it's so interesting to see, because if you watch Ampharos' run through level 9, you think, man, what an easy level 9. And if you don't even see anything that he did, and you only watch Saber and watch his run through 9, you think, man, what a difficult level 9.
I knew as soon as I popped out of that staircase with no visible doors other than up, and it led straight into Zelda's room, I'm like, this was really lucky. I think there's a good chance Saber had been in 9 for a long time, and I just lucked into the magic staircase.
You know, looking at Saber's map too, he's only got a few rooms left. It does seem to be that was the only way in there, and he's just not finding that one stairs that's required, or stair rather.
I think,
Nope, he did just find her. There is a way you could just bomb straight up. Wow, it's like a 6-room trek.
Huh. So that could have been the easiest.
He's probably gonna see where these stairs go, or
no
check out if there's another way.
Oh, Saver playing the statistical analyst now.
He's checking the stairs, probably because he assumes I took them, which is correct as an assumption.
And we have a finish on Saver's side.
He was full clearing. 9. That's what it was.
For posterity. So please, be truthful.
Well, it's interesting to note that there was another way over to Zelda. I don't think a ladder was required to do it either. So, ladder not required for this seed is pretty awesome. That's a rarity. I mean, it happens every now and then, but it's pretty rare to not need a ladder to finish the seed.
Yeah, it's one of those things we keep bringing up as a possibility, but never seems to actually happen. But now we have it. And was that a? We do have Saver in the commentary booth now.
Hello. So what didn't go wrong in that seed?
Well, let's ask Ampharos what didn't go wrong.
Well, his comment pretty much explains it all.
I think this was pretty close to the nightmare seed for you, Saver, with the item so difficultly buried in level 7 that would get you everything you needed to open up the rest of the seed.
Yeah, I pretty much 100%ed it, except the wand.
Oh.
Although I did full clear 9. Had to make sure of that. Because, you know, the last spot is where I'd find her.
She is always in the last place you'll look.
I love shapes so much.
Certainly, and for those who may be new to all this, again, CrystalSaver, the winner of last year's Zelda Randomizer tournament, you took a bit of a break after that and kind of missed the advent of the 3.0 randomizer with dungeon shapes being shuffled potentially. And as we've seen, that has really, really changed the way this game is played in some situations.
It has. I agree. There's a lot more luck involved, though, too, because of trying to find the correct bomb walls.
There's kind of a crazy thing about that, though. Like, the shapes, the way they're drawn isn't very neutral. So a lot of times it's just you kind of bomb up, and that tends to be right a lot. I don't know. I've played like 100 or so seeds in the beta, so I almost got to where I could just feel where the bomb walls were.
By the way, Ampharos, I've received word that you are facing Fred in the next round.
Indeed, we have got the next bracket up.
Now there's someone who knows the algorithm to the finest detail, given that he coded it.
Yeah, he uses the Game Genie, so watch out.
Yeah, some other matches of note. We got JamEvil versus K-Mac, Dig Shake versus Darkwing. I've got TGE, which I know was one of his biggest wishes, was to play up against somebody that he knows. Jakeover against Random Effect.
Oh man, the line to do commentary for you versus TGE is going to be a mile long, HN.
I am sure that it is. Fred Coughlin saying crap, but I don't believe it. And Dragon Dark versus Zeb Gedney. There's a lot of fantastic matchups here in the second round. Be sure to go to the challenge page to check that out, and stay tuned to the schedule, because I'm sure we'll have a massive influx of upcoming matches available for people to restream / commentate and view. And
as always, you can check out JamEvil's YouTube page for all the archive videos. I think all 20 matches up to this point are already up.
Oh, thank goodness Saver and Drone didn't get each other.
I mean, that's what we want, right? It would have been a travesty, because the two really top tier players you want to see have a chance to move on, and going down 0-2 kind of puts a hamper on that, as you'd be guaranteed to have to play in the play-in race and such. So yeah, it's definitely a good thing they did not get matched up yet. Round 3.
Round 3 rematch?
Yeah, is that a can you get rematched if you both go 1-1 in the first 2 rounds, HN?
I hope not.
Don't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I can't say for certain, but I would certainly hope that it wouldn't match people up against each other when there should be other opponents available in the Swiss format for you to play against. I would have to assume it take that into account.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems
most
right.
Swiss tournaments don't let you rematch unless the Swiss runs really deep, a huge number of rounds, which this one's 4 rounds. For 42 players, it shouldn't be that hard to spread people out,
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mhm.
So, I mean, any last thoughts from you guys on, I don't know, I guess either this seed or maybe just so far about the tournament, what your thoughts are as far as previous matches and what you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to regular dungeons again.
If I
about it.
had this seed 4 times in a row, I would be so happy.
Thank you, Greg. Oh.
Congratulations, Double A.
Yeah, good game, Saver. I know you're going to destroy people from here on out, so
Nah, it's gonna be
have fun
shits
with
again.
that.
Karma
And,
comes back.
Yeah, in honor of your next round opponent, A Double, I want to tell both of you good luck. We're all counting on you.